What's up, retro fans? Elijah here from Retro Pocket. Today we're talking about a game that's been puzzling in the indie scene lately, Mad King Redemption. This thing looks like a brutal mix of roguelite chaos, brawler combat, and dark fantasy drama all jammed into one crazy package. We don't even have the full release yet, but from the trailers, Steam page, and early impressions, there's already a lot to be excited about. So in this video, I'm breaking down 10 things you need to know before it drops. The core premise is dark, but cool. So first off, the idea of Mad King Redemption is actually pretty sick. You're not just some random hero saving the world. You're diving into a kingdom that's basically rotting from the inside because of this cursed Mad King. The whole game seems to revolve around trying to reach him, survive his twisted realm, and maybe even redeem him instead of simply killing him. I love that it's not just beat the boss, roll credits, but more about this moral angle of corruption, guilt, and second chances. Even without the full story, the vibes are heavy. Ruined kingdom, broken ruler, and you fighting through his madness one run at a time. It's a roguelite beat-em-up. This isn't some slow, turn-based RPG. Mad King Redemption is a roguelite beat-em-up, which means fast runs, lots of dying, and getting stronger through repeated attempts. Every time you go in, you're clearing rooms, smashing enemies, picking up upgrades, and trying to push a little further toward the Mad King. Then, when you die, you reset, but you bring back progress in some form, like unlocks or meta upgrades. That mix of brawler-style combat with roguelite structure is honestly perfect for replayability. It looks like one of those games where just one more run turns into, oh damn, it's 3 AM already, really fast. 2.5D pixel art with a brutal style. Visually, the game's got that 2.5D pixel art style that feels retro, but still modern and juicy. It's not simple, old-school pixels. There's depth, lighting, and a lot of detail packed into the environments and animations. The way it hits land in the trailer looks really crunchy, like you can almost feel the impact through the screen. The environments are all dark castles, cursed courtyards, and hellish arenas that match the whole Mad King theme perfectly. I'm a sucker for games where the art style instantly tells you the mood, and here it screams, this place is beautiful, but you are absolutely not safe. Multiple heroes to master. From what we've seen so far, you don't just get to play as one generic character. You get a whole roster of different heroes, each with their own fighting style and abilities. That instantly adds replay value because one run with a heavy, tanky character will feel totally different from a run with a fast, agile one. I love games where you can say, okay, this hero didn't work for me. Let me try something else and approach the same levels in a new way. It also fits the theme nicely, like different warriors from a broken world all trying to fix the same disaster in their own way. You're not just grinding stats, you're actually learning playstyles. Deck building and forbidden powers. One of the coolest twists is that Mad King Redemption isn't just about button mashing. It actually mixes in deck building and powers. As you push through the runs, you collect and choose different skills, spells, or perks, basically building a deck or loadout that defines your playstyle for that attempt. Some of these abilities look insanely strong, but also risky, which perfectly fits the theme of tapping into forbidden magic tied to the Mad King. I really like that it's not a flat skill tree. It's more dynamic and randomized, forcing you to adapt on the fly. Every run, your build can get a little weird, a little busted, and that's where the roguelites are most fun. Runs through a cursed kingdom. Each run feels like a journey deeper into a cursed kingdom that's been destroyed by the king's madness. You're fighting through different zones or biomes, each with its own enemies and hazards, and the further you get, the more twisted things become. I love this structure because it makes every run feel like a mini story. You start at the edges of the kingdom and push toward the throne. Even if you die early, you still feel like you learned something about the world. And with roguelite design, these areas are probably shuffle or remix, so you're not just memorizing layouts, you're reacting and improving every time. Boss fights built around the king's madness. A game like this lives or dies on its bosses, and Mad King Redemption looks like it's really leaning into that. The bosses aren't just big health bars, they're basically manifestations of the king's madness and the damage he's done. You can see massive, over-the-top enemies with wild attack patterns, and it looks like they're designed to properly test your build and skills. I'm expecting those classic learn the pattern, die a few times, then finally nail it moments that will make you yell at your screen and fist pump when you win. Reaching the Mad King himself is clearly the big goal, and I'm hoping that fight becomes one of those legendary final boss moments everyone talks about. Progression beyond just one run. Even though each run is meant to be self-contained, it definitely looks like there's a bigger long-term progression behind the scenes. Things like unlocking new heroes, cards, abilities, or permanent buffs so you feel stronger the more you play. That's what makes roguelites addictive. Even a bad run still gives you something, so no time is totally wasted. It also fits the idea of redemption really well. You're not trying to fix this ruined kingdom in one try. You keep going back, learning the game, unlocking more tools, and slowly building up to that one run where everything clicks and you finally reach the king. A dark tone without being edgy for no reason. What I like about Mad King Redemption's tone is that it feels dark, but not in a try-hard way. It's not just blood and skulls slapped everywhere for shock value. Instead, the world looks tragic more than just evil. The king is mad, but the vibe suggests there's a deeper pain and history behind it all. Even from the short bits we've seen, you can tell the devs are going for atmosphere and emotion, not just cheap edginess. That's the kind of dark fantasy I'm into, where you're smashing enemies, sure, but you also feel like there's a story underneath all that violence that might actually hit you in the feels. Tons of hype and potential. Even though it's not fully out yet, the game's already building a decent amount of buzz among indie and roguelite fans. People are talking about the art style, the combat, and the whole Mad King hook as something a bit fresh in the beat-em-up space. Obviously, we still have to see how the final release turns out. Balance, polish, depth, all that stuff matters a lot. But just from early footage and info, this definitely looks like one of those titles you want to keep on your wish list and check back on. If the devs stick the landing, this could easily become a sleeper hit that everyone's recommending to each other. So yeah, that's all about Mad King Redemption in a nutshell. A brutal roguelite beat-em-up with dark fantasy flavor and a ton of potential. I'm honestly really curious to see how deep the builds, bosses, and story go once it finally drops. If you're into games like Hades, Dead Cells, or any fast-paced roguelite brawlers, this one should definitely be on your radar. Let me know in the comments, are you hyped for Mad King Redemption, or still on the fence? Either way, I'll be watching this one closely. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Elijah out.